year or something in people, or we should stick with how it is.
Well, I think that's going to be a call for you folks who are organizing the show. I think that came up in part because next year is the 30th anniversary, and so people were thinking of different things to do, but
what's the 30-year anniversary?
Of this show.
this show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, they wanted to do different things, so. But respond to any, because I think that probably people have a lot of feelings about what was going on with this. I certainly did, and I bet people here do. What was chosen, what was not chosen.
Is the person who took first place here? Because we were all curious.
Which is the first.
No, she wasn't here last night.
And she's not here now, Krista.
It's like, I thought the girl's gonna hit her head and break her neck.
No. She's doing aerials. It's actually a really fast move, so she caught that moment so clearly. Yeah.
But the question came up that was photoshopped in, and
Then you turned it over.
and the general consensus was it didn't make any difference because it is what it is. And
Oh, that's really an aerial.
I just think there's a difference there, so. But I did not use that for criteria because it was not the common, so I had to let that one go, so.
Who asked the question?
I did.
Oh, so did you think you didn't deserve the first prize?
Oh, no.
Which is okay.
I just looked at it and I thought, wow, she's, in the next few seconds, she's gonna hit her head. It was my,
You must be a mom.
My daughter does that. It's real.
Yeah. It's just an aerial cartwheel. Yeah.
That's hard to get, sports photographers go through a lot of stuff with timing, especially with single lens reflexes. A lot of them used to use just rangefinders because the delay for the mirror coming up to get something like this could blow it. And then they got motor drives, and they just go bang, 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 bang through the whole sequence. So.
Questions?
I love the original.
Which one?
What's his name? The cowboy one, our sister around the corner, you can't see. I just could look at that for a long time.
The bulldog.
It's so sharp. What did that get?
It got a sponsors award for Friends and Neighbors magazine.
To me, this was a spectacular shot. I mean, there is no question. This is, this is a prize-winning photojournalistic picture. Then we had this issue of, well, can you see the person's face? Is this about people? Or is this about the activity? To me, but there's no question it's a really amazing picture.
The rodeo stuff, I loved all the rodeo stuff. And I just thought, where was the one with the, everything's changed.
Yeah, we moved them around.
But there's a shot of the cheetah, where the clown was, I like to put captions on these, trying to say, well, what's so funny? This guy's just this far away from getting gorged. Or who's the clown out there? But I thought what was synonymous to this shot here was the picture of the cheetah taking a turn, digging in the dirt. I felt that same kind of dynamic, and they were very similar. They could have been done by the same photographer if they had a series of digging in like that. If you were a photographer and that was your thing, I just want to get that pow out of it.
Well, it's a spectacular moment captured.
Loved it.
Phenomenally.
I think this is the weakest category, though, as far as judging.
Well, all you need is a
Or the-
person in it.
Well,
yeah.
I think that there was less narrative in this one. And in some cases, the exotic aspect took precedence over, certainly compositionally. If that was shot at Somerville High School, we wouldn't consider it. But then that's a legitimate aspect of the photography. But because the exotic aspect, meaning it's out of country, it's out of usual, it puts it in a category of winning that.
I'm not sure that was not really a criteria. I think the criteria that came up with the portraits is, again, what do you respond to that have people in it? And if we move over here and look at this,
I agree with you, actually.
Before you
I think
do
it is the
that, why
weakest
don't
one,
you
and it was
talk
the
about,
hardest to figure out what our criteria was for choosing.
Well, I did
which
people,
said there was just
so
more.
You had an interesting conversation during the judging about which place these two, the Tibetan monk playing basketball and this, and commenting on the, Kim had mentioned that the sky was blown out and stuff like that. And as I recall, you guys negotiated the placing on those. Maybe
It was the energy in
Yeah.
that, and we had a lot of energy in the portraits. And I liked this, I fought for this, is this person who made this photograph here?
the sultry girl.
Yeah, I
Lightning.
kind of fought for that one because I thought it was a really nice portrait and there was nothing you could really define it as. There was technical issues because of the backlight and the tree coming out of her head, although I made a comment that's, well, that's Medusa. But that's a mysterious, that's an interesting portrait. It's a very different portrait than something like this.
And I argue for that, but I really like that picture a lot.
There's something going on
This
here.
one. I felt it was a really strong portrait, and, I mean, I hadn't realized, I felt it was intimate, really intimate, and that, when you see an adolescent sort of being able to look at you in that straightforward way, it's amazing, right? Those are parents, I thought it was really amazing. I couldn't convince my colleagues, but I couldn't, but I thought it was one of the most striking ones. To me, I would have chosen that for a prize.
Well, there's a difference between looking at something, the technical aspect. I tried not to take that into consideration in this particular,
Category?
well, in general. I mean, it was there. I appreciate something well done, but what I'm looking for is some kind of vision. Something, I'm a portrait photographer. That's what I mainly do, and I always have people looking at the camera, all right? Always, because I feel like when you're talking to somebody, you look in their eyes, and I want my portraits to talk to people about this person. I don't go for necessarily cheesy, smiley ones, but I do try to get to look at the good side of people, to get them open. It's a trust issue because making a portrait of someone is like, has a reputation of going to the dentist. It's a very uncomfortable situation. Apologies, any dentist here. Every dentist knows that too, because they don't want to hurt anybody.
Is Rick here?
He's not
I
here.
know, but
Other
you-
comments?
Oh, one of our sponsors.
the thing about this portrait is I felt, and I always look for this too, especially with my bigger camera, if I'm all ready to go, or even with my smaller cameras, is I'm working, I'm getting set up, but I'm looking at my subject all the time. And I'm trying to just tear down the barriers, not to show them naked in an embarrassing situation, but to show the human positivity, the human comfort with yourself, knowing who you are, reaching that level of just knowing yourself and being comfortable for whatever you are. And I felt that the photographer was paying attention to that. Maybe he got lucky, she got lucky. And there was another piece that, and this is what made me, the one with the foot in the hand, I felt was part of that vision. It's the same photographer. And I was touched by that. And I was touched by this portrait just out of the sheer mystery of it. I mean, what's going on? You took it like maybe, you brought up, well, is it a sexism thing? Is it?
I didn't like it, it didn't draw me, and I think my judges, my colleagues made very compelling arguments, some of them, not necessarily for this one, but some of them that I thought, oh, that's very interesting, I still don't like it. I heard every, comment, and I validated it. I can't even remember the one that Kim made the argument for. Oh, it was the snake, the girl with the snake.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, which, and he proceeded
You
to
didn't
give.
even know it was a snake.
I did know it was a snake.
Oh, you
From
did?
here,
Oh, no.
Not at first.
No, I did know it was a snake.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I responded to immediately because, oh, it's a snake, so we have, an element that's built in, a response of some sort. No, I knew it was a snake.
One thing you got with us is diversity. So, whatever you think about whether we did a great job or not, or whatever our final decisions were, we were open to a lot of diversity, and I don't think, as far as you looking at things that got chosen here, yeah, There's some that are really of merit too. The blue PG&E we like, but it just didn't happen. Okay, we would have liked to have had more awards and all that, and everything had its virtues and detriments, and we had to weigh all these things, and through three very diverse visions.
And I think around portraiture particularly, it was more diverse
Yeah.
than anything else.
I was gonna say, is I think you guys had to compromise the most in
Yeah,
this
we did.
category. One person really liked it and fought and fought and fought, and they won, and then same with all three of them, I think, that were chosen.
Yeah, because
had
for
to
those of you that
compromise.
did make an award, you may have done with other kind of judges. And for those who didn't get an award, you may have gotten one with another set of judges, and it's just life.
Well, you know, or, yeah, I mean, there were pictures here that didn't get a prize that I would have given a prize to, and same for you, and same, you know, for Kim. So,
But it also gave all you people that entered this thing a fair chance, a fair opportunity to have your vision recognized and felt.
I wonder whether there would be a way that those viewing them say everything was numbered or something, and then they go back and write comments, because wouldn't it be cool as to get comments on your photos?
That came up, and that's what this is about. So if you
Yeah,
have
I
a
think
photo here, you want to comment, better for you to have.
You mean
that.
as the show progresses during the whole thing, like have a pad of paper or a piece of paper by each one?
Well, or it wouldn't, maybe, that might get cumbersome to have
Yeah.
by each one, but I'm just saying that if they were numbered or, there, I'm sure in today's technology, there'd be a way that people, they might just love one that nobody else, you know, the person got no feedback on, and you'd get a comment. I don't know, the easiest way to do that.
Heck, just the number,
What?
just the number, 1 to 10.
we had to rate them, actually, you know, in the first round, we just eliminated X number that we were told to eliminate. You know, in each category, we had to get a certain number proportionally to have any picture. And then in the next set, when it was tallied, and, you know, we had a lot that we agreed on, that were in the show, and but all of us who walked in, we saw plenty of the ones that we had chosen. But we had to do, you could tell the number, but we had a system, you know, from, three,
Kathy,
five,
I'm
seven,
sorry,
10. Yeah, so that we actually, and that's how some were excluded from the
Yes.
final
And
one.
all these
Yeah.
guys here who organized it, you know, they were pretty, they got to be flies on the wall.
Yeah.
We should ask them,
Well, and you can see
because
them
we're so
here.
busy trying to,
The ones that didn't make it are in the slideshow that didn't make the 1 through 5.
Yeah,
and you know, when you see the slideshow, you can see what we initially see to judge what's gonna get in, and that's a lot.
and some of the pictures that we chose and selected in, did not look as good when we saw it printed. And some looked better.
Yeah.
You know, we could only go by what we had. You know.
But when I hear you talk about pairing, you know, synchronizing your papers with what you wanna do, and like John says, I see being informative, I see information, I see evolution. And you're pinpointing more and more and more. Framing is that way also. A lot of the comments that we had, we didn't care for the framing. That was not considered.
Yeah.
That was not considered, but it was a comment, all right? And photography traditionally has very minimal framing. So for those of you that do bigger and heavier frames, you know, look at more framing of photography. Go to photography exhibitions if you want to see what the current trends are, and also the current crap, and also the current things that people are really risking. You need to go to photography shows where you can see a body of work. Seeing one thing, I wish we had, I thought, a category of having at least 3 pieces from one, you know, just a series. Because when I taught photography, a student would bring in they bring in a landscape, I said, this is like from 3 different photographers. You know, I want to see what your portrait's like, and I want to see how it's connected to your vision with the landscape, etc.
One thing I wanted to say, maybe you could comment on this, but the category of elements of design, I thought was a brainstorm on your part. I loved it. And did people feel good about that? And You know, I thought that was wonderful, and if people want to look at some of those, because, I mean, not that elements of design aren't in every picture that you take, but this is with something with a special focus, and we talked about this, we love talking about composition, so let's do that.